Hello, it's me again. I'm the guy who's recovering from Mirvaso. My face was burned in 2017. I previously had a perfect baseline skin tone, which only ever flushed in cold weather, and as a result of eating food which didn't agree with me, and my face was burned and ended up being permanent redness. So I've been doing everything and anything possible, really, within reason, and which is safe, to try and improve my skin. And right now I've got a turmeric face mask. This is turmeric honey, which I bought from my local Lidl supermarket. The strength is +5. The jar was about £6, and I mix a teaspoon of this Manuka honey with some turmeric. This is your standard turmeric that you'd use in cooking, although I hear that there are other types of turmeric which are better for cosmetic reasons, so perhaps I'll look into those. I don't know if anyone's ever done a turmeric mask. I've noticed that whenever I take it off and remove it at night, my skin looks quite pale. It can look really pale. You have to be careful how you remove it though, because turmeric, being rough, can have quite a grainy, it's a grainy texture. When you remove it, there's this kind of like a mechanical exfoliating effect, and you don't want that to cause irritation. I've used a minimal amount of turmeric here, so there's not as much to take off. Oh, I'm dripping. It's all running down. I don't mind that it runs onto the neck, because that's an area which suffers with acne and things as well. Smells good. That is very tasty, actually. It's like in cartoons, like once they get something on their face, like a big tongue comes out and they go and sort of lick the whole face and it all sort of disappears. I wish I could do that, but I have to instead use a soap-free cleanser to sort of gently get the stuff off, and I'm splashing a lot of cold water on and so on. Anyway, this is a follow-up video to say that I went to visit a GP today. I'd never seen this particular GP, but I wanted to ask her about azelaic acid. It's a dicarboxylic acid, and apparently it has historically been used for the treatment of acne, which I have on my forehead. It comes and goes, it ebbs and flows, but generally I get quite a lot of breakouts on my forehead, which is accompanied by background redness. And I've been watching a few dermatology YouTube videos. One of the channels is by a certain Dr. Sam Bunting, a Harley Street dermatologist, and I happened across a video she produced about azelaic acid. She said that azelaic acid is one of her favourite go-to treatments for the people she sees in her clinic, because it's ideal if you're treating both rosacea and acne. Now, I'm not saying what I have is rosacea. It's more like what I have is redness caused by this angiogenesis brought on by those severe Mirvaso rebounds that I had. And bear in mind I used Mirvaso only twice, but I kept rebounding about the same time every day for quite a long while afterwards, like a couple of weeks. And then I started to see the redness develop. So azelaic acid, I certainly want to try it on the forehead, and maybe if I tolerate it well on the forehead and I see a reduction in pimples and redness, maybe I can introduce it to other parts of my face, like this temple area here and parts of my jaw. I've got a patch here. I know you can't see this because I've got the mask on, the turmeric mask. But I'm hopeful that I can introduce azelaic acid gradually, build up my tolerance to it, as Dr. Sam advises. You can get azelaic acid on prescription at 15%. That's known as Finacea, and you can also get it at 20%, and that's known as Skinneren. Well, I obtained a prescription for the 20% version today. I didn't really want the 20%, I wanted the 15%, but my GP didn't really listen to me, so I had to take what was given, and I thought maybe I can buffer it with moisturiser and not use it twice a day, as it says on the instructions, but rather use it, say, 3 times a week and see how I go. But apparently there's been a production problem with azelaic acid. The company that manufactures Finacea and Skinneren are not able to supply pharmacies, and it's a bit of a problem. So I visited most of the pharmacies in my town today only to be told the same thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to go on Amazon. I'm going to purchase azelaic acid at 10%, which anybody can order over the counter, well, over the web browser in this case. And there's a brand called The Ordinary, which by all accounts are reputable and quite reliable and quite well priced. And I think I did remember Dr. Sam mentioning The Ordinary. I looked online earlier and it was about £6 for azelaic acid by The Ordinary. So I'm actually going to get that and start using that on my forehead and see how I get on. In the meantime, I'll submit my prescription for Skinner at 20%, and maybe by the time I do actually get a hold of that, I might have begun to get used to azelaic acid. I mean, I was a bit surprised. I said to my GP, I know that azelaic acid is going to irritate me, but I don't really want to be using it twice a day. But me and this particular GP, did I say dermatite? GP, we had she didn't like my attitude. She said that you get 10 minutes in a GP's appointment, and if it's a GP you've never met before, you've got to kind of give them your entire history of what's happened, what medications you used, and of course they've got access to your medical history, but it's kind of like bullet points. I tried to fill her in, tried to be detailed and accurate and give her the facts. And I was on the edge of my seat leaning in, and she didn't like it. She said, whoa, what is all this? Well, just back off. What is all this aggression? I don't like this. You're being very aggressive. You're being very intimidating. She actually said this to me. I've never had a GP say anything like that to me before. But if I am coming off as aggressive and intimidating, it's more that I'm determined, trying to be concise and succinct and want to get a resolution. I don't want them arguing with me, saying things like, it doesn't look that bad, which is what she said. She also said, the redness on your face is caused by shaving, which it isn't, because I only shave about once a month. I work at home. I don't have to see people. And I can tell you that redness and the patches, especially on this side, has always been there. Did not like the cut of her jib at all, but she didn't like me either. But once I explained what was going on, I told her that I was annoyed, upset, and I'd been dismissed and trivialised by other doctors and derms. I've been given the wrong medication, and all I want to do now is try out this azelaic acid because Dr. Sam Bunting said it's a good idea. And this GP was going, making faces, doing all of that. And clearly not convinced, but if I was being aggressive and confrontational, then so was she, because she actually got quite nasty with me. I won't be seeing her again, but she's told me to start using Skinner 20% azelaic acid on the forehead twice a day, and she said it'll irritate you, and I says, yeah, there'll be a purging. She said, a purging? What's that? I don't know what a purging is. I said, well, the acne is gonna, it's going to stimulate any acne that is in there under the surface of the skin. It's going to purge. And she went like that and making all these faces. She really irritated me. My heart was thumping, beating, I left there feeling really annoyed. But the fact that I can't actually get hold of this prescription anyway, so I'm just going to have to do it on my own and try the azelaic acid, start off on the forehead. If that goes well, try it on the rest of the face, maybe the nose to begin with, mix it with a moisturiser. And also a skin cycle is 6 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my GP said it's 3 weeks. No, it's 6 weeks. But tell me if I'm wrong, but she seemed adamant that it was 3 weeks. And she said that use a 20% formulation if there's no improvement after 8 weeks and discontinue use. I think what I'd rather do is use azelaic acid for 3 months at a lower concentration, and maybe with a view to using it for 12 months. I don't know why this GP was being so unhelpful, but yeah, you get some good ones, you get some bad ones. Any progress that I've ever made, quite honestly, has been down to me. There's very little that any doctor has ever said. Most of the time, I just want them to give me the prescription that I ask for, because I don't ask for any old rubbish. I do research it and look into it. I'm quite well informed. But like I say, we've only got 10 minutes. I mean, it's like a speed dating exercise, only that I've got to convince her to give me the medication that I'm expecting to help. Yeah, you can't really get to know someone in 10 minutes. Anyway, let me know how you're getting on with your skin. Did you use Mirvaso? Did you have a rebound? Have you now got, are you dealing with flushing, or have you got like the permanent patches of redness like I've got? I've got areas that are constricted and areas that are not. It's like a bit of a patchwork. Let me know how you're getting on. And if you do use azelaic acid, or if you have used it, let me know how you got along. Okay, well, bye for now, and see you in the next video.